Hello, and thanks for coming along to And We Have an Office Dog, the digital agency podcast where we're talking to the people behind the agency, the service providers, coaches, and mentors to discuss what it's like working with you, the agency leader. With your host, Chris Simmons, the Agency Accelerator, talking to a different agency growth partner in each episode. What they love about working with you, what they wish you knew. All will be revealed. Okay, so let us begin. Over to you, Chris.
Thanks, voiceover guy. That's the last we'll hear of you today, hopefully. Gareth, how are you doing? Welcome to the podcast again.
Thank you very much. I believe this is my hat trick.
This is your hat trick. This is your hat trick. You've done season 1 as agency leader, season 2 as agency leader. However, we are here for a very different reason today, Gareth. Why are we here today for season 3?
We are here to talk about working with agencies.
Ooh.
So yeah, something I've always enjoyed, if I'm honest, and I think working with agencies has always stood me in good stead. So yeah, I'm delighted to be along to give you the pros and cons, shall we say.
So we're here from the perspective of the recently minted Coveragely platform, but there's a longer history to your working with agencies, and it goes back to even when I first started in SEO, actually. So do you want to give us a little potted history of Gareth Hoyle working with agencies?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I started working in SEO 2007-ish, worked freelancing for a couple of years. And to be honest with you, got fed up of speaking to idiot clients. Maybe I had the wrong clients, which is why I defined them as idiot clients. But I really, while I was at university, I taught myself rudimentary Hindi because I was working for GE, and I looked at what I was doing for my brand clients is a loose term, if I'm honest, when I think about that. I really wanted to work with people that understood what we're doing. So the obvious journey for me was to work with other agencies to help with link building, because links are still needed to rank. So that made sense to me. And we created a business called Manual Link Building.
That was favourite in 2011.
It was. I don't think we knew it would grow as quick and as far as it did. I think we'd have spent more money and time on the logo and the domain name if we knew that. But hey, it's I can't fault it. You know, it's paid for this house. So that's and I've worked. Although we work probably half, maybe 66% with end brands now, I still have a lot of agency clients that come to us for support work, I suppose, whether it's the links, or whether it's they've got a stack of audits that need doing, or they need some content producing. I've just always enjoyed working with my people, shall we say.
Yeah.
And that's even now when we're looking at end users, we only really work with end users that have got an SEO team.
So give us Coveragely is a new thing. I've had a little poke and a peek with you. It's pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about that.
Hey, voiceover guy here. Me again. Looking to accelerate the growth of your agency? Well, check out omg.center/info. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Bloody hell. Gareth, go on, carry on. The guy's an idiot.
Oh, no, yeah, cheeky bugger, isn't he? Like, just coming and interrupting us. So Coveragely. Coveragely is something that I've been working on. It's been live for a couple of months now. One of the things that as a link builder in digital PR, most of the reports that we do, we send people spreadsheets of links, and it's just really dull. And there's no metrics overlaid on them quite often. And I often think that, we've got an accountant or a CFO or a CEO that's above the teams that we're working with. Maybe the client we're working with is investing 5, 10, 15 grand a month into PR and links. And what's their output? well, their output, other than the fact that their visibility has increased and their rankings have gone up, is a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, and it just doesn't fly for me, really. So what we wanted to do is try and make a visual way of viewing the reports. So with Coveragely, really simple. You paste your URLs into our tool. Our tool will then go away and screenshot the posts. So you've got a nice visual of the domain or the post that's been made. But then what else we're doing is you can attach Moz metrics, Majestic metrics, Hrefs metrics, and SEMrush metrics. It took me a long time to convince all four of these companies that I can put their metrics next to each other. But look, I genuinely believe that if you're going to get a true picture, you need to take into account all the metric sources. None of the metrics are from Google to start with.
Let's not forget that quite a lot of these metrics, as good as the platforms are, and I'm definitely not disparaging any of them, quite a lot of their scores are made up from their data and, a DR this and a DA that and a SA this and an SR that or whatever. Though none of those mean anything, but at the same time they do, because you kind of there's a benchmark for all of the data they've got. But if you put them all together with something else that's a bit more meaningful, then it makes a lot more, shows the landscape, the value of that link, I'm guessing.
That's what we believe. But you're totally right that none of these are Google metrics, and they're all based on the individual algorithms, etc., that people are setting up. The way I approach this, though, is if we're all using the wrong ruler, it kind of makes it right, because we're all using the same wrong measurements.
Yes.
So
agreed.
And even if you just look at it from the perspective of we're a DA 50, our competitors are an average DA 60. Oh, we've got some work to do. So even if you're just taking really top level views like that, but yeah, we are really pleased with Coveragely. We're pleased with the uptake so far. It just saves time, and it just makes things like, we find that you get greater buy-in from the C-suite. There's a more of an understanding when it comes to sharing the reports across departments. It's just, you know what, pictures are better than words.
Yes. Well, I mean, the thing I tell a lot of agency leaders is that, you're selling an invisible thing, and you have to, and the reason most clients leave isn't necessarily because of the results. The amount of agencies I've spoken to, and they've gone, yeah, they left, and the results are great, and I can't work out why they left. And it's like, you were just giving them reports that were numbers and spreadsheets and green lines and red lines and things like that. You're not sort of explaining what that invisible thing really means to them. And fair enough, a few screenshots of where the coverage isn't going to swing the needle, but things like that definitely add value. And if you can make that service a lot more tangible to someone who's a couple of steps removed from the day-to-day of it, then when it comes around to talking about budgets and things, you're not even in contention for the chop.
It's just a bit of understanding. It's better for comms, like shareable reports that people can open on any device. Like, we've worked hard to make sure it works on your phone and on your telly in the boardroom. So it's. Awesome. I just want people to go, and you can sign up for a free trial for 14 days. And the free trial is fully featured, so you get custom subdomain, you get all the metrics included. It's
that's cool.
Check it out, coveragely.com. And then that's the end of. I'm not here to sell, Chris. Well, here to share my knowledge.
So okay. Your journey has been running agency, working with agencies, supporting agencies. Now you've got this platform to deliver like a product to agencies as well. You've got a hell of a lot of experience in, around, and with agencies. What do you love most about agencies then? Why do you love them so much, Gareth?
I love them so much because they understand what I'm talking about. As much as we all have, SEO jokes are as bad as dad jokes. We get that. And if, as soon as somebody's staying in room 404, the bloody WhatsApp groups go crazy and stuff like this. But for me, it's just people that get what we do. There should be less stupid questions, and you may note that I said should be, because we still get not every agency worker is equal, shall we say. So we do still get some daft questions. But yeah, there's just an understanding of what we do. There's a slight more empathy towards, things don't always go in a straight line upwards. Sometimes we are playing the Big Dipper. They're just my people, they're our people. They just understand what we're doing. They understand why we're doing it. They understand the risk in what we're doing. I can give you an equal number of cons to working with agencies, but I'm sure we'll come on to that shortly. But yeah, I think the takeaway is I just love working with people that understand what we're doing. It's just so much easier.
I was up in Newcastle delivering some training to an agency the other day. Stayed in one of the there's a Motel One brand, I think it's called. Stayed in room 200. It was okay. Anyway. There we go. Hang on. I think there is a drum thing here. Hang on. I'll take it. We had fun on this podcast. So, we've talked about what you love about working with agencies. What is it that you think, kind of, if you were to really distill it down, separates the best from the rest? Because there's technically, English speaking wise across the world, nearly 1 million of them, according to LinkedIn.
Yeah. So everything for me with an agency relationship all starts with how it's sold into the client. Like, there's only so much I can do with what you give me.
Yeah.
And if you've made a promise to the client that will be, crikey, you shouldn't even be using this terminology, but will be number one for keyword X in 2 months. Yeah. Like, well, hang on a minute. Do you know, Mr. Sales Dude or Dudette, do you know what goes in to achieving this? Have you looked at the competition? Have you looked at the landscape of the SERPs? The mis-selling at day one bites me in the ass at day 28, but then the agency loses the client because we might have delivered X amount of links for Y amount of money, which is the commercial agreement that I regularly have in place. But if the site is technically wrong, if the content is not speaking the language of the rest of the SERP, so the intent of the content is wrong, then there's only so much my links can do these days, really. Like, you've got to get everything right. And the good agencies sell it right. And I think it's not a case of trying to, and again, I feel like we're going back in time 10 years here. We're not trying to con these customers. For a long time, SEO was the snake oil game of like, well, SEO is jam tomorrow. So you pay me £10,000 a month for 1 year and we might get some traffic.
I'm selling you an invisible thing for a large amount of money up front that will deliver something which you won't necessarily be able to perceive. We'll put it in a woolly way, in a wordy report, but I'd like the money up front before you actually know it's possible. Thank you.
So you've been out of agency relationships with clients for too long, Chris, because you said we will deliver, whereas I would say we should.
Fair.
Well, you got cover your behind slightly.
Behind the times, definitely.
I'm only jealous.
So, on the other side of that, then, so that would the best bit. What about what you've seen some car crashes in your time? What would you say agency leaders should kind of look out for? What are the warning signs that you've semi-regularly seen that have turned out to be the death knell for an agency?
Yeah, again, the setting the client expectations from the off. This is a multi-year brand building exercise these days in SEO. Like, it isn't, we're just going to write 300 words. We're going to make sure that the page loads fast, and then we're just going to dump some links on it. Like there's the whole story of top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
Like nothing makes me shudder more than when I hear that the agency has sold them 10 keywords. Like, we're working on these keywords. It's like, well, no, you're working on this section of their website, which may or may not have thousands of variations of the keyword that we're working on.
Yeah.
Granted, we might track 10 keywords, but I don't think you should be selling it in on the basis of, oh yeah, I'm just going to, the same, we see it when people are like, I'm just working on this section of the site. Well, hang on a minute, we've just made the site more authoritative. So surely rising tides lift all boats. So the whole site should be going up, not just blue widgets. So things like that, when we hear of that, again, realistic expectations. I was speaking to an agency the other day. Their client wants to rank for sash windows. So sash windows are bloody expensive windows.
Yeah.
The front page is full of the window companies that you see also doing TV campaigns.
Right.
So big brands. But they came to us, and granted, we delivered the work because it's an order for us rather than we weren't strategically involved. But they wanted, and I know that Google ranking isn't just about link count, but they wanted 5 links a month to this page. And their site had no existing authority. The UX was wrong. It's never going to rank.
Presumably the anchor text was going to be sash windows or buy sash windows.
All the way. Not even, but again, this is where, as a service provider, it's not my job. It's not Tesco's fault if you burn your dinner.
Yep.
So if you order 5 links with this anchor text, obviously we'll send a copy for sign off and all that jazz. Then I'm just processing your order.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not involved. And that's one of the biggest challenges that I have with working with other agencies is the lack of comms sometimes with the end client. And don't get me wrong, we do have some agencies that introduce us as the link partner or the PR partner, but others, we do it via their email addresses, or we just do it in the background.
Yeah.
And it is like, I can't control what the account manager is telling the customer.
Yeah.
And I mean, the plus side to this is it's not my reputation on the line, because I'm not even in the conversation.
The interesting thing though is that expectation management piece. It goes across all facets of an agency. So you hire someone, you set the expectations of what you expect from them. They set expectations as early as they can around interview and post-interview and things like that. You set expectations in your marketing that generates your leads, which should maintain that level of expectation through the proposal stage, and the onboarding should meet and stick to the same expectations. And it's all should be very transparent and should be very, very clear. And oftentimes a client will leave an agency because they don't feel like their expectations have been met. And sometimes when you look back through things, you're like, well, I definitely understood what they were talking about. They just didn't necessarily understand what you're talking about, or you misunderstood what their expectations were because they didn't necessarily understand how to articulate what their expectations were. It's crazy.
Well, they might not know what they want.
Yeah.
Like they might genuinely, or their landscape could have shifted for them.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a new CMO. Maybe they have more resource in house now, so they want less from the agency. It's. I mean, the reason I love coverage, like agency to agency or client to agency, it's people speaking to people.
Yeah.
And Chinese whispers and things get lost in communication, and especially where we're doing. Because for some of our agency clients, we run their PR campaigns and we run their PPC trading activity. Like, that's harder to do from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it is much easier if we can be in a shared Slack channel where I'm Gareth at Marketing Signals, rather than Gareth at Agency X.
Yeah.
It is just so much easier sometimes.
Mm.
And it's almost like the client doesn't get the full plethora of our knowledge, shall we say, because we're with the secret, aren't we? With a dirty little secret that nobody wants to admit to.
Yeah.
Whereas reality, we've been called in by that agency because our core competence is what they can't deliver, but they need to deliver it.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. I also think it's just a circle of lies that
yes,
digging ourselves a bigger hole as the. You know, we've got some of our agency clients. We've been working on their campaigns for like 3 or 4 years. Like, what? Imagine the customer found out.
Yeah,
like, maybe they wouldn't care.
Well,
it
really does depend. Typical boring answer. It does depend. But so I've got a final question for you to round off this. So Coveragely is doing really, really well. It's running all by itself now. You've got a team in place that are all running it for you anyway. You don't need to be involved as much. You think, oh, I need to get some new hoodies with some new branding. I'm going to come up with a new business to solve an agency's problem. I'm going to put loads of years of R&D into it, and you come up with a magic wand. And it's a magic wand that can only ever be used once because you didn't put a lot of time into the R&D. You priced it up well, but you didn't put a lot of time into it. And it can only ever be used once. So you get to use this magic wand one time to change one thing in all agencies in one go. What is it?
Oh, you know what? And you will training. Yes. It would just be training based and standards and just raising that general knowledge within. Because again, not necessarily. I know a lot of very talented SEOs. I know a lot of dangerous SEOs, shall we say. But with the training, you're trying to get something across to the developers that are making the new site. Well, if you're not trained well enough to explain what you want, then it goes over to the developers with the wrong spec.
Yeah.
And it could be using the wrong type of schema. It could be focusing the developer resource on the wrong part of the site or the wrong part of the technical audit. So yeah, just train your people. And it's something that I've always been a massive investor in my people, to just get them up to the standard that I need.
And I think there's different types of training, isn't it? There's training for skill, training for mindset, and training for kind of things that, so lifestyle types training as well. So, you know, the skill stuff, a course for this, a course for that to do better at SEO or PPC or whatever else. And then there's the training which helps you think better, speak better, present better, account manage better. And they're softer skills than the typical kind of, say, hard skills. Then you've got the other skills which are incredibly important around, like, keeping your mind right in and out of work, and like good use of a magic wand there.
Yeah, well,
everyone's done it. It's great.
It is. It's needed as well.
I can feel the phone ringing off the hook with people coming to book training now. This is great.
Well, good for you.
Thanks so much for coming on, Gareth, and really looking forward to seeing how much further Coveragely does, because it's a great platform already, and it's relatively young, so it's got a long life ahead of it.
Thank you, Chris. We have big plans for it. So yeah, watch the space. Coveragely.com, free trial. Sign up. If you don't like it, drop me an email.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming on. And in our next episode, we'll be speaking to another coach, advisor, trainer, mentor, or partner. In the meantime, thanks very much.